Greetings, dear community. This is Laurent, aka Kerouan, and today I'm going to talk a little about the physics of combat in Ascent Quest, as well as boss fights. This is a major aspect of the game's development, and we still have a lot of work to do in this area. But we thought it would be nice to show you where we currently stand and discuss our plans. As usual, these images come from a game still in development. Expect something much better by the time of release. So yeah, check this out and I will discuss it further afterward.
Well, did you manage to defeat the guards and the foreman?
The foreman?
Yes, the foreman! Me! I will take care of you, human, and all of your friends! Talented human, let's play more!
Let me help you.
What the?
Feel the danger and necessity.
Those yellow marks. Is it the danger?
Too talented! To be my brothers!
I'll take him. Focus on the foreman.
I'll help you.
Who are you?
The Foreman is the very first boss in the game, located at the end of the first story instance. The whole instance acts somewhat like a tutorial, and this fairly simple boss aims to introduce players to new monster moves, as well as area of effect attack and telegraphs. And yes, telegraphs are actually part of the story. To their surprise, your character can see them.
Those yellow marks. Is it the danger?
In combat, the true source of damages is the opponent's weapon, in that case, a sword. As long as this sword doesn't touch you, you don't take any damage. It's up to you to anticipate movement and move accordingly. What makes this interesting is that the animations become actual skills. If two enemies use the same weapons but move differently or have a different weapon shape, the feel of the combat also changes. And we can imagine very sure opponents just by making them move faster with more varied movements. The Foreman is the first boss, so he has only a few different attacks to keep things simple. For higher level bosses, we are working on their animations to make them true weapon masters, requiring you to stay focused to defeat them. There will also be unique mechanics for each boss that utilize the strengths of VR. For example, a boss might require you to catch projectiles it throws at you, or climb the environment in the middle of the combat. Next, let's talk about the ways to counter. With physics management, we can detect when weapons clash. Let me show you in details how it works in terms of gameplay. When you place your weapon in the path of the attack, a parry occurs. The opponent's animations is then abruptly interrupted, and you take no damage. You can also parry or block projectiles, including arrows and spells. When you're playing in a group, it becomes very interesting. If the sturdiest member of the group step forward, they can intercept the maximum number of projectiles to protect their allies. Moving on, it's time to give you an overview of the stat systems we have in place. There are three main stats that will increase the power of your attacks and skills. Strength for swords and shields, Agility for bows and daggers, Ether for magic. Each specialization primarily uses one of these three stats as well. Then there are two other important stats useful for all characters. Vitality, to increase your health point and the rate at which they regenerate. Stamina for the same thing with energy. There are few other stats, but we'll discuss those another time. Let's get back to our warrior who blocks numerous attacks. Imagine a mage rapidly casting fireballs. Even if you block them all, you should still feel a powerful impact, and you might not even be able to hold your shield after a while. When you block or parry, your health points aren't affected. However, your energy takes a hit. The calculation principle is simple. If the main stat used by the attacker is higher than yours, energy will be heavily consumed, and the opposite is true. If yours is much higher, blocking will consume almost nothing. If a mage throws a fireball, we compare their Ether value with your strength. If it's a very powerful mage, your block will be costly. On the other hand, if the mage tries to parry an attack from a dragon, they might be able to block one attack, and end up with 0 energy. When your energy is at 0, blocking or parrying will only partially reduce the damage. Your attacks also suffer a heavy penalty because you're exhausted. This is why you shouldn't necessarily see blocking as invulnerability. It's up to you to decide how much you want to counter and adjust your stats accordingly. A tank would want to have maximum endurance to block as many hits as possible, while an archer wouldn't need as much. Finally, it should be noted that area of effect attacks cannot be blocked or parried. The only way to avoid them is to move out of the area, or be under the effect of a spell that allows you to withstand them better. For very large enemies, expect many area attacks. Only a fighter with lots of heals and armor can stun their ground without moving, making the presence of a healer important. That's all the explanation we wanted to do for today. We continue to improve and develop all of this, and we'll show more depth when they are ready. I also want to take this opportunity to announce that we have decided to reopen our Patreon. A lot of people have been asking for a way to support us financially, and we had nothing to offer as long as pre-sales weren't launched. So due to this popular demand, you can now do so on Patreon. If you are mostly waiting to pre-purchase the game, especially with access to the testing phases, you will have to wait a bit longer. This Patreon is just there to support us, but patrons can also vote for the topic of the next video. Thank you for being here with us, and see you soon!